Hello friends, Coach Bob with you, and today we are going to be doing a few mundane chores and having a talk about riding. Things look kind of messy around here, and they do. It's because I've gotten a little behind. I don't know, I'm sure you never do that. Coach Vic did wash all my car rags, which I appreciate. I'll probably drop them all on the ground so she'll have to clean them again. Oh, I put all these on top of Oxford here. He won't mind. You know, this week I was thinking about all of the stuff that we go through in life, right? That ain't gonna work, I gotta move these. And the things that we have to do just to keep life moving. Do you ever feel like, I can't keep up, I just can't keep up? Well, as you guys know, this week I had my left eye laser surgery thing done. And it was a little more challenging than the right eye, which I had anticipated because my left eye's all jacked up. Either way, it's behind me, I'm feeling better. Coach Vic came to me this morning, she goes, Coach Bob, my wheelchair wheels aren't turning right, which means that when she pushes in a line, one will catch, and she's doing this and doing that. And you know, it's something as little as that, and it is a little thing. We both get tired of having to deal with this, because she gets frustrated having to ask me to fix it. I get frustrated having to sit out here and fix it. And not that it's a big deal, it's kind of like mowing the grass, you know, it's gonna grow again, and you know that, but you cut it anyway. And that's how this wheelchair thing is. With all of the little things in life, whether it be new tires, which, you know, I had that done recently, an oil change, or all of the little things of life, kids and the difficulties with parenting and jobs and all of the complaining of the world, and you know, and then you turn the TV on, man, there is nothing but arguing and complaining, people wanting to hate everything. I started thinking about, why do I ride? Because there's a lot more to it than just the exhilaration of the wind in my face. There's more to it than that. It takes me to a place, and today we're gonna hop on Casper, my beautiful 2019 CanAm Spyder RT, and we're gonna go for a ride. We're gonna talk about why we ride, or why I ride, and then you can share down below why you ride. And we're gonna do that after you like, share, and subscribe to this channel, because I greatly appreciate it. Let's do a little wheelchair repair, and then let's go for a ride. Let's get these wheels off. I'll tell you, wheels on a wheelchair, they are hair magnets. These wheels get more hair in them than I got on my head. But that's not the issue. I think that Coach Vic's wheelchair needs new bearings. Now it's time, I think it's time for her to get a new chair. Yeah, I can tighten that up. I see where the play is in both of those. I can fix that. Before I tighten them though, I am going to lubricate it. See, one of the things that people don't think about on wheelchair wheels is what all they do. I mean, they're in the mess, man. They are in it. They pick up everything. I mean, you got to figure they're going through parking lots, they're going through rain, they're going through bathrooms, you name it, man. They get it. And then, you know, you have a wheel that is old, years old in this particular case. Rust can start to develop in there, and then all of a sudden things aren't working, they're not moving properly. And then, of course, for Coach Vic, it's not that she's not physically capable of doing this, because she is, and she's certainly intelligent enough to do it. But when if she were to work on a wheelchair, she has to transfer onto the ground. So what we try to do is we try to work this around her daily schedule. So if she has something that she can do a little computer work, I can put her in a chair while I do this. Yeah, I really like to get into all the nooks and crannies. Yeah, it is amazing though to me how things like this can really. I cleaned these a few weeks ago, but we're out by a pool, and that swimming pool, obviously, and water and corrosion and all of the things associated with it. And then, of course, we're out there in inclement weather, which means we're out there in the rain. So all of that's running down inside all of these parts. And wheelchairs aren't designed to be waterproof. They're just designed to be wheelchairs. So, you know, I love old Coach Vic. I tell you, she's a pretty awesome girl. Just a little look into one of the additional responsibilities that having a wheelchair can add. For those folks who don't have someone to do this for them, God bless you, because I cannot imagine, and I know that she did this without me for many, many years, and she had to take care of this on her own. God bless her. Not only do you have to deal with the pain and problems of paralysis, but then you have to deal with this side of it as well. It's like insult. It is insult to injury. It's just not cool at all. Just keep shuffling along here. Like I said, God bless her, man. It's a tough road that she has to take. I don't know how any of this stuff works sometimes. You know, wheelchair is a machine. It's got to be maintained. It's got to be maintained often. We can accept exceptional, but anything less than exceptional is unacceptable for us. Now, get to take it for a test ride. He still got it. He still got it. Going downhill, going downhill, going uphill, going uphill.
You know, it's funny, I did actually have someone recently ask me why I am so interested and so consumed with riding motorcycles here. And, you know, there is so much more to it. But, you know, as I look off into the distance sometimes and I see storms brewing like I see this morning, I sometimes question why I ride as well. No, I really don't. I never question it. Even in the worst scenarios. You know, years ago as a young man, I was riding with a friend of mine named Jackie Vickers, and Jackie was he was a maniac, and so was I as a young man, and we collided on a road one day. I ran into him, quite honestly. He slammed on brakes in the middle of the road, and I did not react accordingly. We were playing stupid games, and we won the stupid prize, and the stupid prize was. When I hit him, my left side and his right side collided. Fortunately, I didn't make a direct hit on the back of his motorcycle. But it's oddly enough, we rode to the hospital together in a car that my wife drove, and we laughed. And the next day, we were hobbling around repairing our motorcycles and could not wait to heal up enough to be able to ride again. Not once did we ever regret riding. We might have regretted being somewhat dumb, but we didn't regret riding. And we did learn our lesson we learned to ride a little more appropriately when we're riding in such close conditions and at such high speeds. It's very unforgiving. Things close on you really, really fast. I felt bad. He felt bad. We both felt totally at fault, and we were partially at fault. So why do I ride, and how can things that seem to be so painful and something that we read about is so dangerous? And every time we talk to someone, they tell us, you know, I had a friend, I had a nephew, I had a cousin who died. They hit the sand and they died, or they are this or they are that, and you should sell your motorcycle. But I want to talk about a couple of things about why I ride. And not only do I want to talk about why I ride, but before we even get into that, talk about some of the benefits of riding. One is you don't have to follow guys in really slow cars because you have the power to get around them. So as soon as I top this hill, there it is. The effects that riding has on you as a human being that we don't even think about, but scientifically, it does do things for your body. One thing that riding does, and this has been proven, it improves your cognitive function by as much as 50%. That's really saying something. Cognitive function is something that as we get older is very, very important. The things that assist in cognitive function are also playing a musical instrument, learning a foreign language, and yes, riding a motorcycle. You learn better. When you have a higher cognitive function, it's easier for you to learn. You're a better problem solver. You have greater memory recall. And you can gather stimulus and you can respond appropriately and more rapidly. And they say the reason that motorcycling in particular causes it is it requires a very high level of concentration, like learning a foreign language and playing a musical instrument. Also, the endorphins that riding releases just makes you a happier person. You can go out when you're, as we will say, when you're just in a funk and you just can't get out of it. You can get on the motorcycle, and for some reason, it can snap you out of it. Also, motorcycle riding gives you greater core strength, greater neck strength, shoulder and arm strength. And certainly if you're riding a naked bike, something that doesn't have a windshield where you're really dealing with the wind, it really does make your body a lot stronger. So, but the real question is, why do I ride? If none of those things were true at all, I would ride anyway. And the first reason I would ride is the thrill. Yeah, the thrill. Just every time I get on the motorcycle, it is a thrill. There is something about the rapid acceleration of a vehicle. And there is nothing like the feeling of being outside when that vehicle is rapidly accelerating. You are completely connected. And that is something that's very special, and it's very exclusive to riding a motorcycle. Now, I will say I've driven a T-Bucket, and that's pretty similar. But just driving a regular car, or even a convertible for that matter, is not the same as the thrill of riding a motorcycle. And whether it's a three-wheeler or a two-wheeler, the thrill is definitely there. So number one, the thrill. Number two and number three seem to conflict, but they really don't. Number two is individuality. You know, you are your own person when you ride, and that independence that you feel when you're on your machine and you're riding along the road, you are alone. There is that isolation associated with it. The noise from the wind, the excitement in the air, that crackle in the air, that individuality. I am different. Because when you look around, everybody else is in a car and you're not. And you are more of an individual as a result. Now, number three, kind of, like I said, it seems to go against number two, but it really doesn't. And that's the camaraderie of it. You know, there was a Saturday Night Live skit years ago that says, you know, these kids, they just want to be different, just like everybody else. You know, it feels that way when you're around other motorcycle people. You're different, just like they are. So there is something to do with the individuality when it comes to the world, but when you have that camaraderie, that bond, that special feeling, that special connection that you have with another person who has a passion for riding a motorcycle, it really is a cool thing. You know, I meet people from all walks of life, things that I would never have anything in common with these folks if it wasn't for the love of a motorcycle, where we can sit down and we can talk about our experiences, about what life has thrown at us and how this crazy machine has somehow pulled us through it. And we do love it. So number three is camaraderie. Number four, escape. You know, escape, I think, is one of the greatest things of the motorcycle. When you're dealing with issues, obviously yesterday, when you saw me working on the wheelchair, yeah, it looks like the next day, because guess what? It's the next day, and life is busy, and I needed to get away from it. So what I did, I got up this morning, and I'm coming up here to Johnston's Meats in Monticello, just a little 15-mile hop down the road, to pick up some sausage and, yes, donuts for Coach Vic and I. And it's nice to be able to escape the pressures, the things that life throws at you, all of the crazy little things, the big things and the minor mundane things. It's nice to be able to escape just for a moment and take a deep breath and just relax for a minute. And that's what riding does for me. It allows me to escape the insanity of life. And that's one of the things that I really, really love about motorcycling. Now, here's Johnston's Meats right up here on the left. Let's pull in here and grab some grub for me and Coach Vic, and I'm going to turn around and take this baby back home.
Man, these guys were awesome. You know, I talked to Hal, the guy that runs this place. He's from Homerville, so we ran some of the same roads as boys. He graduated high school in '79. So anyway, and then talked to a guy that rides a Triumph Rocket 3. You're hobbling this morning, man. You all right?
Oh, I just had knee surgery.
Oh, what'd you have done?
Total knee replacement.
Wow. When was it done?
3 weeks ago.
You're moving pretty good then.
I wanted to get back on my bike.
Yeah, yeah.
You get up early, didn't they?
I've been hunting this morning. I was up the first day.
That's the only way you can get going. You got to go. They told him rehab was going to be rough, and he said, hell, he said it wasn't even close to what it was every day before I had it done. His pain he was in.
Exactly.
I'm almost at that place. How many more years am I going to put it off? I don't know. But I'm tired of waking up all night.
His was from like when he was 25, and they didn't do it until he was like 63 because they kept saying, well, you'll outlive it. You'll outlive it.
I'm doing, the other one's done on the 27th this month.
So are you dreading it more than you were dreading the first after the recovery?
No.
No?
I was up walking around the first day, wasn't even using the walker. Didn't really need to use the walker at all. Got the cane, walked on it a little while. I've been walking without it for about a week.
Awesome,
my knees,
man.
just keep working it. I mean, just got to get up and go.
That's the thing, man. It's like if the old saying, if you don't use it, you lose it. It really is true.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Well, my name's Bob, by the way.
I'm Dennis.
Nice to meet you, Dennis.
You too.
All right, buddy. Hey, man, nice meeting you. Be safe out there.
So in typical small town fashion, we make a couple of new friends, we pick up some donuts, we pick up some sausage, all that good stuff, and man, I am heading back towards the house. Make sure you like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel. We are growing and we do appreciate you a whole lot. So where were we? We had, we had talked about the thrill, the individuality, the camaraderie, and the escape. Which brings us to number 5, adventure. You know, you can never have too much adventure in your life. Years ago when I hiked on the Appalachian Trail, it was an adventure. When I did the Ironman and all of the training, it was an adventure. All of the amazing things that I've been able to be a part of in my life and be outside in the creation that God has made here, the big playground as I call it, I love the adventure. And motorcycling is exactly that. Whether it be blistering speed, rapid stops, exceptional handling, or just a crackle of the air, man, it is an adventure every time I get on a motorcycle. I never know what I'm going to see, what I'm going to experience. And there is something to be said about just being a part of the environment. And that's what being on a motorcycle is about. And if you don't think you are, the next time you come around a curve and you see all those grass clippings on the ground, you'll be a part of the environment. Be careful with that stuff. That stuff's like ice, by the way. So adventure is number 5. Bringing us to number 6, freedom. Man, I could talk an hour about the freedom that I feel when I ride. I am completely unencumbered. The shackles of life are just cast aside and I'm free. Now, I don't feel quite as free when I see that police car up there every now and then, but otherwise, I feel pretty darn free when I'm on this thing. Whether it's the Spyder or my Triumph or any motorcycle I've ever ridden, regardless of whether it was a 50cc or a 1000cc, it didn't matter. Whether it was loud or quiet, I felt free. And that liberation that we experience when we ride can't be overstated. It is something that you have to have experienced to really understand the feeling of it. So freedom is number 6. Number 7, connection. Now, connection is one that I guess kind of sounds new agey, but the connection of me with the road, of me with the planet, of me with the environment, that connection that you feel is part of it. But another part of that connection is the camaraderie that we talked about earlier. And not only that, the connection with the person that you share your passion with. If you have a spouse or you have a boyfriend, girlfriend, or just a friend that you hang out with and you ride with, that connection that you have with them, it really is something quite special. When Coach Vic and I travel, we are more close. We really are. We are more connected when we're out doing this. I don't know why. I just know it's true. We've often talked about it, and we can't put our finger on it because there's nothing that we've ever done in our lifetime that connects us like when we ride this. Maybe it is all of the aforementioned benefits all connected together, and that we are so happy that we're just running down the road enjoying this machine. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But the connection that I feel with her, that she feels with me, and that we feel with the world is really amazing. We're nicer people when we ride. We are more outgoing. We're more social. We're more approachable. We're just better people. And that is something that I love about motorcycling, which brings me to number 8. And this is the most important of all of them. And it, quite honestly, it could be all of them rolled into one. And maybe that's what makes number 8 number 8. It unlocks the real me. You know, years ago when my grandmother was 98 years old, the year she died, I asked her what it felt like to be 98. She jumped over her bed and grabbed a box that was under the bed on the other side of it, and she pulled out a picture of her when she was probably 16, 17 years old. You know, it was that sepia-toned black and white picture. And she goes, "That's what I feel like right there. That's me. What you see is this old woman in a failing body. But what I see is that girl in that picture." And it's not only until I look in the mirror that I realize that that's not what others see, but that's me. And that's how I feel every time I get on a motorcycle. It's the real me. It's not the Coach Bob. It's Bobby. It's that boy that rode on a motorcycle, that felt it for the first time. The acceleration, the vibration, the balance, the success, the failure, the falling, all of it, all rolled into one. It says, you're a kid. You know, I've often said I don't want to be young again. That's not what I'm talking about. But that feeling of youthful exuberance, of fire, of passion, all of that is what riding does. It unlocks every bit of that in me. And I don't have to try to make it come out. It just comes out. And of all the things that I do in my life, riding is one of the few things that has that impact on me. And that's why I ride. And so when I go out and Coach Vic gets nervous and says, "Don't ride like an idiot, don't get killed," I go, remember, if something happens to me, understand I was doing what I absolutely love, because I love riding motorcycles. And I know you do too, or you wouldn't be watching this. So what I want you to do is get down in that comment section and tell me a few of the things that I might have missed that you've experienced, that you can enlighten me and open a door for me, because I sure do want more doors opened. And I want more connection with those of you who are my brothers and sisters out there riding motorcycles. Coach Vic and I plan on going to Biketoberfest next week. We are hoping that nothing crazy pops up in our path. If it does, we won't be able to go, but we're anticipating being there. Once we get a firm update on when we're going to go and where we're going to stay, we will update you guys with all of that, and hopefully we can meet some of you while we're over there. So until then, what I want you to do is go out, buy the motorcycle of your dreams, eat right, take care of yourself, and remember, if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. In fact, if you're not having fun, you're probably not riding enough. Now, you go seize the day. We'll talk to you soon.